bare knuckle, no backing down. Dragon light splashing, crowd get loud. Knockouts mean evil, spinning the cloud. Written ground warriors of the night. I'm the king, hard punches win the fight. Body shots up the cuts, bring the heat. Champions rise when they rob his land, trick his tribe, war is raw. Knockout people stunned, see a champion score. When up with the game in the ring, you stand tall. About to let you rise, answer the call. Welcome to Knuckletown, where legends are born. With a mighty trigger and war prize won. It's like a sacrifice, everybody fight, like bell rings. You know it's on tonight. Cheers if it's like the Dutch price, my together rhymes. See it's like the right. No, see us playing kids. Years as well, but you feel that therapy is.
Welcome to Knuckletown. It's your boy Big Face Man, and we like to welcome you to our special KO show presentation of what we like to call the Knuckletown Breakdown. Now we go to some great fights, and we get two warriors on the show with us to relive that fight, walk us through the feelings they had, beginning the fight, through the fight, you know, and just ask questions that fans may never get a chance to ask. And of course, tonight is no exception. We got my man Joe Elmore and Leonard Garcia, who fought an epic battle. Welcome to the show, fellas.
How you guys doing?
What's going on, brother?
Great. Look at them. There they are, the warriors. They once tried to kill each other, and now here they are, friends and respected allies, right? That's how it works, right?
Yes, sir.
Amen to that.
So, you spill blood together and you gain the respect, and I mean, it's a brotherhood that never goes away.
100%. And Leonard, I understand that you are happy in retirement, right? And you know, a fighter's retirement can be up and down, but you're retired officially, right? You're retired.
Yes, sir. I'm officially retired.
Man, you're looking mighty good. You look like you might can still do it. I don't know, you know. I mean, you look like you might get whip some abs.
You always feel like you can. I always say, yeah, man, I'll watch a fight and I'll get the itch, and then the old lady will turn it down real quick, and you know, I get in the gym for 2 or 3 days, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm too old for this mess. But, I try to stay active. I try to keep my body in good health. I love to spar. You know, but you know, the grueling training camps and spending time away from the family, I don't have that taste anymore.
Well, you had a great career and absolutely gave a lot to the fans. And Joe, we know you're still active and, you know, not announcing nothing, but we know you're still out there knocking people's heads off.
Yeah, man, trying to stay busier than I am, and you know, it's but yeah, I'm still in love with it. Not the whole spending time way, you know, but I fortunately, my wife is in my corner every fight. She's such a big part of my fight, and I spoiled myself to do that so I could keep my longevity and keep that animal going a little bit longer. Having her and my family as part of my camps is just, man, that keeps it that's probably what's keeping me young and vicious, baby.
I mean, you look pretty good, and that's absolutely cool as hell. And that is a great way to put it, that you added your family to the life to add some longevity to your athletic career, which is dope. So we're going to do the breakdown, guys. We're going to get into this down here. The great fight card it was, but you guys stole the show this night, man. I watched this fight several times, and I got a lot I want to talk about as we get into this, because you guys, I don't know how either one of you survived this fight, okay? Because you were landing some huge shots, both guys, so it was insane. So we're gonna run the tape on it, and feel free to talk about what you got. How were you guys feeling when you set this fight up to fight each other? Joe?
Honor, man. Honestly, Leonard knew the whole time, dude. I was a huge fan of his style. Chris Levin, Leonard Garcia, guys that just went out there and banged, and even if they were winning a round, wasn't thinking about trying to get out the fight with the win. And for me, when I came into BKFC, watching, knowing that Leonard was there, and I already fought these two guys, and I just wanted to fight a legend like that, man. So for me, it was like it was a respect, and I wanted to just, man, yeah, I got to fight a fucking legend, and now we're friends and we have a mutual respect. So
that is awesome. Leonard, any thoughts on that?
Man, it was you know, Joe emotionally, it took me on a crazy ride. You know, I just dropped down to 55. So let's talk about that fight for a little bit. So I dropped down to 155 to fight Jason Knight, and had agreed. Everything was working out. I was out at the ranch. I worked out. I just had a baby. So I worked out for 3 weeks out there at the ranch, and then they give me a call and they say, "Hey, Jason Knight broke his ribs. We're about 3 weeks out. We're looking for a replacement now." And you know, to me, it was like, well, I mean, I'm already training, but I wanted to go home, right? I wanted to go home. I wanted to see my baby. I wanted to spend time with the family. And I said, hell, they ain't gonna find me anybody. So I took my butt home. You know, I go home. I trained at home. You know, ran a couple of miles, did a couple things, and you know, just kept emotions going. And then they call me and they tell me, hey, you're fighting a jiu-jitsu guy named Jim Ehlers. And I was like, whatever. So you could tell in my body when I showed up there, like there's zero excuse for anything that I did because I showed up to fight. You know, like I'm definitely not diminishing anything Joe did. I mean that Ehlers did, because he did. He cut through me like a hot knife through butter. I mean, the dude just,
wow.
It was, you know, it was like the second I got in there, he hit me right in the eyeball, and there was nothing there that was any good in my body. And I tried to fight back, and I got whooped. Well, after that fight, I was diminished, man. I felt like, God dang it, why did I show up like that? You know, I can't believe I did that to myself. And then here comes this dude at 165 and just destroys somebody. And I remember watching Joe's first fight in the BKFC, and the hair on the back of my body stood up. I was like,
wow,
this dude is nuts, man. Check him out.
Right here, hang on. I don't want to stop you here, but just for a second. Wow, these are huge shots right here in the first round. Like, I'm going to get back to your story, but I mean, look, you guys came out, and a lot of guys, this fight will be over for both fighters by now. Look at this. I mean, you guys are landing huge shots.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man. Well, and like I said, I watched him, and then he comes out again, and he destroys. I mean, like every time he would hit somebody, they were just falling over, you know. And I was like, I watched videos of Joe, and I was like watching him. I watched the video where he was punching himself in the face, and I was like, man, this dude is nuts, man. Like, man, and I couldn't explain. I don't know why I felt that way, but I just felt it. And then out of nowhere, man, it was like the something lined up. He does an interview and he's like, yeah, man, where's Leonard at? And I was like, oh my God. He said my name. And I remember, like, whenever I was watching him, I was like, this is the scariest dude out there right now. Like, there ain't nobody scarier than that.
He is a scary dude, man.
You know, and at the time in the BKFC, like, there was nobody lining up to fight him. There wasn't a long line of people. There was nobody saying, let's do it, Joe. Matter of fact, he would look out into the crowd and people would turn away, put their sunglasses on. I told Brito one time, why'd you put your glasses on when he looked over? And we started laughing, you know. But yeah, he was that, you know. So for me, it was like,
that's great.
I had something to prove to myself. Like, man, I wasn't gonna go out like that. And you know, like, why not fight a dude that terrifies you? You know what I mean? Like,
all right, hang on. And once again, you see this cut you opened up on the skull, Joe. What were you feeling like when this cut opened up?
So listen, really man, I had to go get a slow motion replay of that fight because this man hit me so damn hard, y'all. He didn't hit me in the head. I went to block like this, and he hit my hand into my own head.
Oh,
I still got that's why I finally shaved my head. If you look right there, I still got the scar. And he hit my hand so hard that my own wrist split my face open.
Wow. Look at that right there.
As I tried to cross arm block his punch as it came over the top.
Do you want to know how crazy this man is? he lined up in front of me afterwards when they pulled us apart, checked the cut. He lined up in front of me and he was ready to come at me. Blood squirted from that cut onto my chest. Like it squirted right on there. And then I looked at him and he was like, come on, come forward, come on. And I was like, this dude's squirting blood at me and he's still telling me to come on.
I kept the blood on it from our fight, bro.
Look, there it is. Look.
Yeah, there
Blood's
it is.
Still on it, Leonard.
Yeah.
They still got our blood on it. I don't wash them. I keep them forever.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna send you my shorts that I fought in. You can send me yours, and we can put them in some boxes.
I'm down for that one.
All right.
There was so many power punches landed in this fight, guys. I mean, you guys are, and that's another thing about Joe. Not only does Joe hit hard, he sells out on his punches like nobody. It's landed in his mind. I thought you hurt your hands in this, Joe, because I was like, how could Leonard?
I broke my hand in the third round.
I knew it.
I got the.
I knew it.
So check this thumb out right here. I don't know. Let me get it on the camera.
Yeah, I see it.
Look at that thumb compared to that thumb. This thumb here, I never knew. Like I never knew. I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
I went to the doctor like 3 weeks after the fight, and I was like, the swelling on this side, it's not gone down yet. And he said, let me look at that hand real quick. And he grabbed my hand and he said, does this hurt? And I said, yeah, it hurts pretty good. He said, okay, good. Then I know for sure. So that hand's been broken for a few weeks. I said, oh, okay. I said, so what are we going to do now? And he was like, oh, that's all new bone growth. You're going to be fine. So, yeah, my thumb's going to look like that forever. I don't know if you can see the difference.
We can see the difference. We can see
the
difference.
So I got lucky, though. If you notice, the reason I was able to punch, it was this knuckle right here that broke, and it was perfectly clean. Ooh. And this one already has been broke so many times it sticks out further. So I really only hit with these two knuckles anyway.
Yeah.
So I had missed the punch. I had missed the punch one time with that uppercut that I got him with in the second round, and I think like it went in his eye socket, and that's what broke that hand. And then after that, I just hit with these two knuckles. I didn't know it was broke. I just knew it was hurt.
Those other two knuckles, I had a couple marks here, and here. So I know exactly.
Hey, two's enough. We stayed in there. There was plenty of twos.
And look at that baseball punch. Like he can't.
There it is. There was two knuckles there.
And so boom, big left hook.
I don't know if you can find one of those rounds. I hit him with a body shot. Now I can tell you, I have knocked out several people with that body shot, like several in the gym with 16-ounce gloves, and I hit him with that body shot with no gloves on, and I'm talking about I torqued everything in it.
I got knuckle prints the next day. I didn't know. I woke up the next morning and I didn't know I got hit in the body. I take pictures of all my injuries, y'all. I make like a idol. I love even like my face. I like how fast it heals. But man, that next day where he hit me with that solar plex shot, he'd been doing it in the UFC. Man, I watched him fucking kill people with that shit.
Yeah,
it did. I didn't know it at the time because my adrenaline was rushing, but I felt it for a long fucking time afterwards.
Okay, so his eyes, right? You look at people's eyes when you're fighting, and you can read. And when he looked at me, he looked up after that shot. I said, "Oh yeah, I got it. That's in there. Like that's in there. He's gonna go down, or something's gonna happen." I turned around and I looked at him, and he turned around and he looked at me, and his eyes just changed. He was like, almost like hell yeah, and I was like, "Oh, this motherfucker." Hell no.
And that's why I wanted to fight Leonard in the first place, man, because when I feel threatened and I feel that I'm fighting, like it's like a giant, right? Like you get these, for me, I want to feel threatened. I want to feel in danger. You can't skydive off a little bridge. You got to jump out of a fucking airplane. So my adrenaline rush, my warrior spirit, whatever I am in this simple world, dude, getting to fight another real warrior and feeling just I know he wanted to knock me out. He didn't like what Jim Allen said. He said it here, and I knew I was willing to be his victim that he got to take that out on. And I knew he was going to come at me because of that. And I was sitting here fighting a legend that wanted to take me out, but I also have got to prove to the world I've still never been dropped by a punch in my life. And it feels just, I want to be. Like, it's not that I don't want to be. I want to be. I love it, dude. There's just something about getting in there and two warriors sharing that moment that changes your life.
That definitely made me feel I mean, exactly what he says. That was like it was almost like a movie moment, man, when you see somebody just as crazy, just as wild, wants the same thing. Like, and man, like, believe when I tell you we respected each other, it was a respect to where it's like, you know what? I want to take every bit of anger and pain and suffering that I've ever had, and I want to give it to you. But because you can take it and you're giving it right back, let's just sit in here and just keep it going. And I mean, I don't know exactly what the punch count was, but I know for a fact we threw punches from bell to bell.
It was insanity. And
if you watch, like, if we sat here and watched the fight, there was very few lows in the action. Like, those people got what they paid for, and that's why me and Joe's names will be remembered forever, because people that went to go watch us didn't watch two guys moving around. We were in there, we're trying to figure it out, and then we start throwing punches, and there we go. Look, I mean,
oh no!
Hey, they act like Max Holloway was the first person to do that with Justin Gaethje. They forgot to watch us do it before they did.
Well, did you notice when Max fought me, he didn't point at the ground?
I didn't have to point at the ground. We just stood there.
No, I said, if you notice when Max fought me, he didn't point at the ground.
Hell no, he didn't. That's what I said. I'd have Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje at the same time.
Yeah. So I mean, but look, there we go. I mean, it's like we would literally look at that. I mean, there it is.
Repeat. So I wanted to ask you, both of you guys, this question. Both of you guys, I want to ask a question. Hang on. So Leonard first. Have you ever hit a man with that many clean shots and him not be knocked out? And then the same thing for you, Joe, because you guys were landing bombs.
Yeah, and not only did I not knock him out. Look, I mean, watch. Here in a minute, he'll look right at me.
Big shots, man.
And he's like, "Come on, you
Boom.
know." Like,
and he always come back.
And I mean, everybody else, you'd see discouragement, or you'd say, "God dang it, man! Why don't this dude just leave me alone or go away?" But not here. Look, I mean, why there's no lows. We're just.
I wanted so bad to knock him out too, man. I wanted to so bad because
you guys gave everything.
Like, it's just, that's what we want. You want to do or die, and then like to know that you tried every single thing you can, and they stood there and tried every single thing you can. It's just like,
I want y'all to know that I'm sure you've watched his fight, but Chris Lytle, this is one of his favorite fights. He loves this fight. He talks about this fight, and he was excited watching this fight. You could just listen to him on the call. He loved it, man.
Well, you know, when you have a guy like Chris Lytle give you compliments on a fight, I mean, that's something you can take home with you right there, because Chris, I mean, no, he's
a Captain Bang'em. He's a Captain Bang'em, just like you guys.
Another original one of our favorites.
See that eyeball you painted there, Joe?
Wow. I mean, but you know what, Leonard, your face looked pretty good for the amount of. I mean, I can't believe it. Like,
we actually held up pretty well this one.
I tell my wife it looks like a catcher's mitt now, but I guess you guys are making me feel better about myself.
Nah, you look great, man. You look great.
I appreciate it.
So we go into this. So for both of you guys, we're going to this 5th round, an absolute war, and you guys do leave it all out there. How are you feeling coming into this 5th round? I know you had to be exhausted.
Yeah, I was dead tired, but I knew he wasn't going anywhere, and I mean, it was like one of those things where we stood there and like, I'm not leaving till he leaves, and I'm not going to quit throwing punches until they make a stop. I'm going I'm gonna be 100% honest. If this would have been one of those old bare knuckle fights where you go until you die, I think we were both willing to go.
For a long time. That's what it felt like. See, for me, man, it's hard to describe. I've never really disliked anybody I've ever fought, but when I get into that fifth round, I'm almost so lost in this time loop. I can't feel my feet anymore. I just hear the crowd, and it's like this humming in slow motion. Joe, you can do it. I love you. And it's like silent moments of rushes of energy, of waves, and you just feel invincible or unbreakable, and the blood squirting. It's almost like laughter, but like it's almost happiness shooting out, and getting to see people, whether they hate you or love you. That's what I'm feeling in that emotion, just driving me to, I don't even know. I'm there and I feel what's going on, but it's just fight, because I can feel the energy, and I got sucked into it. This fight, I was sucked into this land of like, we're gonna die here. We're just gonna, and then ding, 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 and I'm like, hug me. Like, we were still screaming at each other while fucking hugging at the end of
Yeah, I remember. Then that's what it was. Like you still got that. You got that want to go, even when the thing was over, and we're like both looking at each other. I remember being so amped up. We were like screaming and then grabbing each other and giving each other hugs.
Yeah, that ending.
Everything else, and you know what bothered me at the very end, and I didn't even realize it. Joe was asking me to come down. He didn't say it, but I think he was going to pull me down to pray with him.
He wanted to pray. Yep.
Like, I had all this energy that I was like going crazy, and I turned around, and when I got over there to my wife, she was like, "Hey, he was asking you to pray," and I turned around, and then that's when they give me the hat and they give me the cup, and I was like, God damn. So I regretted missing that moment. I regretted that.
I'm glad you said that, because I noticed that at the fight, and I saw that, and I'm glad you said. I'm sure Joe is too.
Yeah.
I knew where he was at, dude. I don't ever question it, because whenever he missed it, it's like missing a high five. Leonard is such a good human being, and to even take this fight with me being, I was nobody and I was dangerous, and he didn't even think about it like that. He gave me an opportunity to fight him too, to put on a legendary fight. So it's like, I loved him. It was so hard to be mad. It took a lot to like not be a fan of him. And it was Susan Singari who did the interview with me after Tom, when I was like, I want Leonard Garcia, but I saw people get me and Julian Lane confused all the time. Let me bang, man. I know fucking thick-headed, but I saw him fight with him, and he was actually the champion at the time too.
Yeah.
So I had seen that, and then that's what made me that night. That was the first thing at the top of my head. That's the only legend in the sport at the time that I like. The only type of person that I wanted to face that was that kind of gladiator established already. I mean, Jason Knight did a great job with low ball, but he was too small. You know what I mean? That was it. That was the only person I could think of in that moment that was going to fight me and not fall down like Tom did every single time.
Who was that, Lewis?
Do what?
Who did you say, Lewis?
No, I said when you beat Julian Lane.
Oh yeah,
you were you won that. You were a Mexican champion, right?
Yeah,
wasn't that for a belt?
The only one that intrigued me more than Joe, like not more than Joe, because Joe was at my weight. Joe was the scariest guy in the thing, but the other guy that was there was Louis the Baboon. Palomino.
Yeah.
And he was also equally as skilled, but not as scary as Joe. You know what I mean?
He was 155 for me. And so that's why he was 155. I was trying to be 165, 175. I had at that point, I was like, they finally made a 65 weight class. They didn't have it in the UFC. The 170 guys were 205 guys walking around in UFC at the time. 165, I was like, that is my fucking headspace. Yeah. That's where I'm. Yeah.
So
Lewis was one of my favorites. Watching Louis Palomino fight Justin Gaethje, that was one of the greatest fucking fights of WEC history.
Yeah.
That's what made me a Justin Gaethje fan before he went to
the UFC.
Yeah, that watching that fight with Pal, because that motherfucker, he could move like Crazy Horse before Charles Bennett man, he could just like jump across the damn whole cage, bro.
Yeah.
Palomino was a animal when he was young. I mean,
Yeah.
he still is, but
Yeah. He
like
and to be fair, at the
440
time,
type athlete.
those were you and him were were definitely the top guys there. I remember what Thiago Alves was kind of in there for a second during our time, and that fight intrigued me, but it had to be somebody. It had to be some. When you say I was nobody and I was this and that, and I gave you an opportunity, I felt like you deserved it. You deserved it. You were cleaning people's clocks. Nobody wanted to fight you. You were scary as hell. So never sell yourself short, man, because you deserved every bit of that fight. And to come in there and fight the way you did with I don't know how bad the injury was, but to do that says a lot about who you are.
Yeah, appreciate that, dog. I never even talked about the injury because that had nothing to do with the way the fight ended up. I did wind up actually.
Did you get it fixed? Oh, you had surgery?
So I had 100% tear on my subscapula. I never really told anybody this, but I had to go get 7 shots of cortisol. That's why I fought in the little. I had to shoot from the hip because I had a subscap tear, but they pulled it out and put my bicep head tendon. But hey, look, I went to one of my doctors. I had cortisol put into my shoulder. I couldn't feel my damn shoulder, but I could throw that motherfucker after the cortisol was in it. I tore it 3 days before we fought.
Wow.
And I didn't want to back out. I was just like, fuck this, man. This is the biggest fight of my entire life. Wow. And I didn't know what to do, but I was throwing a hook and wow, it just fucking simple shit, recording a little thing for like a promo or something.
Wow.
But hey, we got that shit done. I went and got the cortisol in it. And
wow.
That's crazy because,
up.
To untrained eye, you would have never known that you were injured the way you sold out for it. I mean, mind over matter. That shows you that warrior mentality. But so both of you, we want to say, man, first of all, thank y'all for coming tonight because this is what it's about. Legendary fights. You guys had a legendary war and you gained respect. Of course, Joe, you are a legend in bare knuckle fighting. And Leonard Garcia is a legend completely across the board. Bare knuckle, MMA. I mean, it's fantastic, both you guys. And at that point in your careers, to hear you guys, the admiration you have for each other, the angle, Joe looking towards you and how you looked at Joe. And to be honest with you, I think everybody still feels that way about Joe. Joe's still scary as hell of a matchup for anybody at that weight class, and he's a problem. So, I mean, this is a great fight, man. And I love this series, this show, this idea for this fight, man. I thank both you guys, straight warriors, man.
Man, we appreciate you. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to get out here and talk about it. I know we had talked about this for a long time. Joe,
awesome.
I live vicariously through you and the BKFC. So this next one, man, go out there and just, I mean, who cares? Go out there and just show them the scary dude that I fought. Show them who you are, man. Go out there and just don't worry about getting any hit. Don't worry about getting knocked out. Don't worry about any of that. Just go out there and give him everything Joe has to offer. I guarantee you, man. If you became a champion, it'd be like me becoming a champion. So go out there and get it.
I love you, brother, man. Hey, thanks again, dude, for the opportunity to fight you. And I'm glad we got to actually get on here and let the people know what it's like in the afterlife and the aftermath of what we really go through. Because we out here being real people, man. Most of us are friends just trying to put on a good show for the people because we love this. That's what the true soldiers are. And appreciate the platform, dude.
Hey, man, thank you guys. Before we go, both you guys, I want you to take a moment to give you shout outs to your family, your camp, whomever you'd like to shout out. We'll start out with Leonard. Leonard, shout out whomever you'd like to shout out.
Man, Cowboy Cerrone, man. I'm announcing this on your podcast. He's putting me in the movie. So
hell yeah.
I'm gonna, I've never had aspirations of being a movie star or anything like that, but he's my boy, and he told me, he's like, hey man, I'm gonna put you on, and I'm gonna get you in here. So I fly out there September 11th. I'll be out there shooting movie with Cowboy for a few days. So pretty excited,
Hell
man.
yeah.
So of course, right, giving me that opportunity. My wife, who's probably the greatest supporter in my life, you know, she's huge on TikTok. So if you guys go follow us on TikTok, it's Leah TX Realtor. You know, on TikTok, man, you guys go follow her. You'll see all my storyline, everything else. She does all our family stuff on there. So, you know, and man, most of all, you know, God is the ticket to it all. You guys for giving us this platform, and Joe for being crazy enough to put on these great fights, man. Like I said, dude, I live to watch you guys now, so I'm enjoying it.
Joe, shout out to my man.
Man, you know, my wife, BKFC. I got to see all my sponsors back here: Jason Creasy, Innovative Aquatics, Veterans Farm, House of Sounds. All my supporters, dude. Because if it wasn't for them donating for my Christmas funds, every time I give something, it's not even really me. I come up with cool ideas because I have a lot of really awesome supportive sponsors. So every one of y'all that help with all the donations and the things that we get to do, yeah, man. And I love my family, love BKFC, love y'all for giving us a platform. And I think this is a great idea. Y'all all have a blessed night, man.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, fellas, both of you. Thank you.
Heck yeah, man.
No doubt. So there you have it, man, the breakdown. And this is what we're talking about, man. Fantastic interactions with two legendary fighters, man. Hitman, Garcia. Great fight. If you haven't seen the fight, go back on the BKFC app, check the archival footage. You saw some of the fight here tonight. Just a war, absolute war. And, man, big ups. Love this new series, man. Make sure, check us out, knuckletownofficial.com, man. Knuckletown, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. You know, big face _knuckle up, man. Hey, take the pads off and fight, bitch.
Gloves off, bare knuckle, no backing down. Dragon lights flashing, crowd get loud. Knockouts me, evil spinning the cloud. Written ground warriors of the night. I'm the king, hard punches win the fight. Body shots up the crest, bring the heat. Champions rise when they robbers win. Triple strides, war is raw. Knockout people stunned, seeing champions score. We're up with the game in the ring, stand tall. About to let you rise, answer the call. Welcome to Knuckletown, where legends are born. The mighty trigger and where our pride is won. Fuck sacrifice, everybody fight bell rings. You know it's on tonight. Cheese if it's like the Dutch price, my trailer rhymes. See it's like the price. You don't see us playing kids. Years as well, but you feel that therapy is.